Hello my dear students and welcome to Zenith Academy Online. My name is Shagufta Jaipuri and today we are studying nitric acid, that is HNO3, which is a part of study of compounds for ICSE class 10 chemistry. So before diving deep in the topic, first let us understand the general properties of nitric acid and what is nitric acid. So nitric acid is a strong acid and an important oxyacid of nitrogen. So it is a strong acid and oxyacid of nitrogen with the chemical formula HNO3. It's also known as spirit of nitre or aqua fortis. This is very important, students. This is known as spirit of nitre or aqua fortis. What do you mean by aqua fortis? Aqua means water. So aqua fortis means a strong water. So it is a Latin word which means strong water. Now in its purest form it is colorless, but as it gets older means when you keep the nitric acid in a bottle in the laboratory for some time. So as it matures, okay, it turns into yellow and then to brown. So this color appears due to the decomposition of nitric acid to oxides of nitrogen and water. So whenever nitric acid decomposes, it forms NO2 and water, and this NO2 has brown color. Okay, so the fumes of NO2 are there which gets eventually dissolved and gives this brown color to it. So we'll study this in detail later. So you see, this is the freshly prepared nitric acid and this is the nitric acid which has been kept for some time. Now it is highly corrosive and toxic and it causes severe skin burns. So that is why you must have seen this danger sign near nitric acid. Now it can be manufactured by catalytic oxidation of ammonia, but this is not in our portion right now. Now traces of nitric acid occurs in air where it is formed by electric sparks through the mixture of nitrogen and moist oxygen. Now children, you know, in the atmosphere there is oxygen, there is air, there is water vapor. So whenever there are electric sparks during thundering and all, so at that time this nitrogen and moist oxygen combines to form nitric acid. We have studied this in our acid rain module. Okay, so we all know how acid rain is formed. Now nitric acid is used as a strong oxidizing agent. So when we do the chemical reactions of it, we'll understand this better. It reacts with hydroxides, metals and oxides to form nitrate salts. It is a common reagent used in laboratories and an important chemical used in industries to manufacture explosives and fertilizers. We'll study this in detail when we study the uses. The pH of nitric acid is approximately 3.01. So it is quite acidic. Now this is the most important part of this chapter, that is the laboratory preparation of HNO3, and most questions are asked from this section. So study this very carefully. Nitric acid is prepared in the laboratory by heating a nitrate salt with concentrated sulfuric acid. So you are heating a nitrate salt. You can see potassium nitrate is known as nitre, whereas sodium nitrate is known as child saltpeter. So these two common names are very important. So these two metal nitrates, when they are heated with concentrated sulfuric acid, okay, what happens in sulfuric acid? There are two hydrogen. It is dibasic. Okay, and this is KNO3. So one of the hydrogen, okay, goes here and this potassium takes the place. It replaces the hydrogen. But there is partial replacement. So only one hydrogen is replaced. So KSO4 remains there and one of the hydrogen is replaced by potassium. So it becomes potassium bisulfate. And the hydrogen which was displaced comes here and forms HNO3. Okay, it is formed in the form of vapors. Okay. Similarly here there is partial replacement of this hydrogen by sodium and it forms sodium bisulfate and nitric acid. Now vapors of the nitric acid are condensed to brown liquid in a receiver cooled under cold water. We will study this when I show you the experiment, that these vapors are colorless and then it is condensed and it converts into slightly brown liquid. Okay. Now the dissolved oxides of nitrogen. Now here in these nitric acid there will be some dissolved oxides of nitrogen which will be removed by redistillation or blowing a current of carbon dioxide. This also I will explain you in detail. Right now just remember that nitrate and concentrated sulfuric acid forms nitric acid and metal bisulfate. So this is the laboratory setup. You can see this is a full glass apparatus. Okay, so there are no plastic or cork here. Okay, so this is completely glass vessel. Okay, now the reactant are potassium nitrate, KNO3, which is niter, and concentrated sulfuric acid. Now these two are taken in the ratio 1:1 by volume. Okay, so one molecule or one part of potassium nitrate and one molecule of concentrated sulfuric acid are taken. Okay, you know, when these two react, it will form nitric acid in the form of vapors. So these are the vapors, passes through the glass retort, and here you can see an arrangement where cold water is poured over it. So when these vapors enter here, cold water is poured over it, so it will convert into liquid, right? Now this liquid is nitric acid, and you can see this funnel arrangement. So the extra water that flows goes through the funnel and is passed to the sink. Okay, so there is a very important thing that you should remember here is, out of these two acids, see, this is an acid, this is also an acid. Now this is a more volatile acid. Okay, what is more volatile? Which can convert into vapors very easily, okay, at a faster rate. So this is more volatile, this is less volatile. So whenever there is a salt of more volatile acid, what do you mean by salt of more volatile acid? See, this was HNO3. If this hydrogen is replaced by any metal like potassium or sodium, okay, so it forms KNO3. So KNO3 is now a salt of this nitric acid. So the salt of more volatile acid, this is the salt of more volatile acid. Okay, when reacts with a less volatile acid, then what does this less volatile acid do? It replaces or it displaces the more volatile acid. Okay, so we get a more volatile acid by reacting the salt of more volatile acid with a less volatile acid. So that is the principle. So if in the examination it is asked what is the principle behind the laboratory preparation of nitric acid, what you will say, that a more volatile acid can be displaced from its salt. Okay, so KNO3 was the salt of more volatile acid, that is nitric acid. So a more volatile acid can be displaced from its salt by a less volatile acid like H2SO4. This is the basic principle in the laboratory preparation of nitric acid. Okay, so this is less volatile, this is salt of more volatile, so less volatile acid will displace this. Okay, so nitric acid is more volatile acid than sulfuric acid and is displaced by sulfuric acid from its metal nitrate. So always remember the principle. Now there are many questions which come from this section, okay, because the laboratory preparation is the most important part. So now let us crack all the frequently asked questions. Now the first question is, why concentrated sulfuric acid is used? I have already answered this, that it is a strong non-volatile acid, okay, and is capable of displacing more volatile nitric acid from the latter salt, that is from the salt of nitric acid like KNO3 or NaNO3 on heating the reaction mixture. This is less volatile, or you can say non-volatile. Okay, this displaces the more volatile acid from its salt, okay, and we get a more volatile acid. Now, why concentrated hydrochloric acid is not used? So why HCl is not used instead of H2SO4? So HCl cannot be used instead of H2SO4 since HCl is volatile. Okay, HCl itself forms vapors. Okay, and therefore nitric acid will carry the volatile HCl vapors, and HCl being volatile itself is never used to displace another volatile acid. So if there are two volatile acids, okay, there is one volatile acid and there is a salt of another volatile acid, okay, then it will not be able to displace it. That is why HCl is not used. So H2SO4 only can displace, okay, the acid from its salt. Now another question is why the molar ratio of the reactant is 1:1. I told you when you add these two reactants in the reactant mixture, these are in the ratio of 1:1. That is, 1 volume of potassium nitrate reacts with only 1 volume of H2SO4. Why? Even though there are 2 hydrogens, this should also be 2. Okay, because there are 2 hydrogens, so there are 2 replaceable hydrogen atoms, but what we need to form is acid salt. See, niter is to acid, this is niter is to acid, are taken as 1:1, since even though sulfuric acid is a dibasic, okay, even though this is dibasic, even though it contains 2 replaceable hydrogen, still what we require is an acid salt. So an acid salt like NaHSO4 or KHSO4 is required. What is an acid salt? Which contains an extra hydrogen apart from the cation and the anion, right? So this is required to be formed, that is only half of the hydrogen of the acid is used up. So for 1 molecule of this salt, only half of the hydrogen here is used. So even though it is dibasic, so half of dibasic means we require only 1. So that is why 1:1 ratio of this is used. This is a very important question. Learn this very well and always write this equation to show this. Now, I have already told you that this is a full glass apparatus. Now, why only glass apparatus is used? So, vapors of nitric acid are highly corrosive. These are the keywords that you should write. The vapors of nitric acid are highly corrosive. So, it attacks rubber, cork, etc. Okay. Therefore, only glass apparatus is used. Okay. There are no corks. Okay. There are no rubber tubing, etc. Now, the next important question is why temperature is properly maintained and controlled below 200 degrees Celsius. I forgot to tell you when I was explaining the the experiment, that the temperature is always maintained below 200 degrees Celsius. We have also studied this before when we were studying sulfuric acid, that if the temperature is below 200 degrees Celsius, then it will form NaHSO4, and if the temperature is above 200, okay, in this case it is above 200, so it will form Na2SO4. Let me explain. This is above 200. So this reaction mixture, okay, so when I take this NaNO3 and react with sulfuric acid at less than 200, it will form NaHSO4 and nitric acid is there obviously. Okay. But when I react it at more than 200 degrees Celsius, okay, so if I take NaNO3 and H2SO4 and react it at a temperature above 200, so above 200 what happens, this sodium displaces both the hydrogen here and it forms Na2SO4. Okay, it has displaced both the hydrogen. So this was an acid salt, but this is what? This is a normal salt. Okay, and nitric acid is formed. Here one more thing you should note, that here the ratio also changes. This become now 2:1 and it forms 2 nitric acid. Now here we are getting 2 molecules of this. Still we are not using this method. Why we are not using this method is because, see, there are 2 reasons. If the reaction temperature exceeds 200, the sodium sulfate is formed. Now this sodium sulfate that is formed, okay, it is formed as a thick crust on the walls of the retort and glass apparatus may be damaged. It is formed like a thick crust and it is very difficult to remove it. Also, the nitric acid may get decomposed. So at higher temperature, if the temperature is higher, okay, then the nitric acid easily gets decomposed. Okay, and we don't want to decompose nitric acid, we want to collect nitric acid, right? So this is a very important question, that why temperature is properly maintained and controlled below 200 degrees Celsius. So students, there are few points you should remember while writing the laboratory preparation of nitric acid. One is these 2, okay, the raw materials are always taken in the ratio of 1:1. Okay, so niter is to sulfuric acid ratio should always be 1:1. Okay, then the temperature here should always be below 200 degrees Celsius. So the product is in the vapor state, and then you convert it into the liquid state by cooling it down. Okay, so these things you should remember. And one more thing, that this apparatus is completely made up of glass, and sulfuric acid is used and not HCl, right? So these are the important points that you should mention while you are explaining the laboratory preparation of nitric acid. Now let's go to the next question. The color of pure nitric acid differs from the color of nitric acid obtained in the laboratory. Why? So when we see in the laboratory a bottle of nitric acid, it is slightly brown, whereas the color of pure nitric acid is transparent, it is colorless. See, you can see this is freshly prepared nitric acid, and this is the nitric acid which has been kept for a while. Okay, so nitric acid decomposes on standing to form brown nitrogen dioxide. This is the reason why it becomes yellowish brown over time, though the fresh nitric acid is colorless. Okay, so I already told you that on standing, if there is even at room temperature, this decomposes and forms this yellowish or brownish color nitric acid. Now, so this is the decomposition reaction. This is a very important reaction, students. Nitric acid decomposes on heating or even at room temperature. It forms NO2, which are the brown vapors, oxygen and water. Okay, so the reddish brown NO2, so this is the reason for the color, the NO2 vapors remains dissolved in the acid, thereby imparting the color to it. So whenever this question is asked, always mention this reaction and tell the examiner that the brown color is due to the brown NO2, okay, brown NO2 gas which remains dissolved in the acid. Now, how can the yellowish brown tinge in the acid be removed? Now that yellowish brownish tinge that we got, that can be removed. Okay, how can we remove that? Now, there are two methods. First is bubbling of air or carbon dioxide. Okay, so when you bubble air or carbon dioxide into the nitric acid solution, what happens? It drives out the reddish brown NO2 gas from the warm acid. Also, it oxidizes the NO2 gas, that was the brown gas, to nitric acid. So when you are passing air, it oxidizes it to nitric acid and it drives it away also. Now, second method is dilution with water. Okay, so when you add more water to nitric acid, that is you make it dilute. Okay, it causes dilution of NO2 gas which is soluble in water. So this NO2 gas becomes soluble in water. Okay, and now since there is no NO2 gas, so the brown fumes are not there, so nothing will dissolve and the color remains transparent or colorless. Now let us talk about the properties of nitric acid. Now students, remember that physical properties are not asked, only chemical properties are asked, but we should know certain properties. That is why I have taken up here. So it is a colorless fuming liquid when pure, but may be colored yellow by its dissociation products, mainly nitrogen dioxide. Okay. Now it has extremely corrosive action on the skin and causes painful sores. Pure acid has a specific gravity of 1.54. It boils at 359 Kelvin and freezes to a white solid, okay, whose melting point is 231 Kelvin. So these numbers you need not remember, just I am giving it for information. Now let us talk about the chemical properties of nitric acid. This is also a very important part of the chapter. So let's go ahead. First and the most important part in chemical reactions is oxidizing property. Okay, so we know nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. Okay, now when nitric acid decomposes, it yields nascent oxygen. So this nascent oxygen is the main cause of strong oxidizing properties of nitric acid. So you should remember this reaction, that whenever nitric acid decomposes, okay, it forms nascent oxygen. Okay, the nascent oxygen oxidizes non-metals, metals, inorganic and organic compounds. So all of them can be oxidized by using this nascent oxygen. Now nitric acid itself undergoes reduction. Since it is an oxidizing agent, it will oxidize the other substance which is present with it, but itself undergoes reduction. So nitric acid itself undergoes reduction in a number of ways, and hence a number of reduction products like NO, NO2, N2O, etc. are formed depending on the acid concentration and the temperature of the reaction. Now let us see the first reaction, that is oxidation of non-metals by nitric acid. Now whenever nitric acid reacts with non-metals, it liberates NO2, okay, nitrogen dioxide. Now here you see carbon is a non-metal, it reacts with nitric acid to form NO2 and carbon dioxide and water are formed. Okay. Now sulfur, again a non-metal, reacts with nitric acid to form NO2, and these are the oxidation products H2SO4 and water. Similarly, phosphorus reacts with nitric acid to form NO2 and H3PO4 and water. Now here remember that both sulfur and phosphorus has produced another acids. This is sulfuric acid, this is phosphoric acid. Now oxidation of metals. Okay, we did non-metals, now let us do metals. Now what happens with metals? This is very important. Cold and very dilute nitric acid. Okay, now for the first time we are now studying dilute nitric acid. Cold and very dilute nitric acid, that is only 1% of acid, liberates hydrogen. Now nitric acid liberates hydrogen gas with metals above the hydrogen. Obviously if the metal is above the hydrogen, then only it will displace hydrogen and liberate hydrogen in the metal activity series. Now magnesium plus nitric acid, very dilute and cold nitric acid, will form magnesium nitrate and it will liberate hydrogen. Manganese and nitric acid forms manganese nitrate and hydrogen gas is liberated. Now you should remember that only magnesium and manganese undergo this type of a reaction. I'll tell you why. Hydrogen is normally not liberated when dilute nitric acid reacts with metals. Okay. Now why? Because nitric acid is a powerful oxidizing agent, and the nascent oxygen which is formed on decomposition oxidizes the hydrogen to water. So whatever hydrogen is formed gets oxidized to water. So we don't get H2, but only in these two cases we get. Okay. Magnesium and manganese, however, reacts with cold, very dilute nitric acid at low temperature to liberate hydrogen gas, since the oxidizing action of acid is much reduced due to dilution. Now why do they liberate? Because at very high dilution, it is diluted so much that the oxidizing action of the acid is reduced now. So oxidation of metal is still continued. Now we are talking about dilute nitric acid, not very dilute but just dilute nitric acid. Now this liberates nitric oxide with other metals. Let us see. So you see now copper, zinc and iron, they all react with dilute HNO3, okay, to form nitric oxide. You see here nitric oxide is formed along with water and the nitrates, okay, copper nitrate, zinc nitrate, iron nitrate. Okay. Now oxidation of metals by nitric acid. Now you can see these metals are same, okay, that we did in the previous slide, but here we are getting NO2, okay, and not NO. Now why is it so? Because we have taken concentrated nitric acid. So the action of dilute nitric acid and concentrated nitric acid will be different on these metals, okay. The dilute nitric acid gave us NO, nitric oxide. Here it is giving nitrogen dioxide, NO2, okay. Now, what is the term passivity? Okay, passivity, pure concentrated nitric acid, or you can say fuming nitric acid, renders iron and aluminium passive. It means it makes them passive, that is now they are not able to react, okay, that is passivity, by forming a thin oxide layer or coating on the surface of the metal which prevents further reaction. Now what is happening? Iron and aluminium forms oxide because of the presence of nitric acid, okay. Now this oxide layer forms a coating over it, and now the metal is not able to react. so it is rendered passive. Now this oxide layer can be removed mechanically or chemically. So when this oxide layer is removed, then the metal again becomes active. Now let us also talk about aqua regia. What is aqua regia? Very important for chemistry. A mixture of concentrated nitric acid and concentrated hydrochloric acid. Okay. Now nitric acid is 1 part and hydrochloric acid is 3 parts by volume. Okay. So if you see here, there is 1 HNO3 and 3 parts of HCl. Okay. So the ratio of 1:3 is there in between HNO3 and HCl. Okay. So this mixture is known as aqua regia. So a mixture of concentrated nitric acid 1 part and concentrated hydrochloric acid 3 parts by volume. This is very important, by volume. So now what happens? This nitric acid we know is a strong oxidizing agent. It oxidizes the hydrochloric acid to chlorine. Okay. So we get this nascent chlorine. Okay. Now the liberated chlorine in the nascent form reacts with otherwise unreactive gold or platinum. Now we know gold and platinum do not react normally. That is why it is used to make ornaments. Okay. They remain shiny. They do not react with oxygen in the air. Okay. So these gold or platinum are otherwise unreactive, but this nascent chlorine is able to react with them. Okay. And they form their soluble higher chlorides. So you can see gold and platinum has reacted with nascent chlorine and forms their soluble higher chlorides. Okay. AuCl3 and PtCl4. Now let us study the oxidation of inorganic compounds by nitric acid. Now you can see this SO2 sulfur dioxide is a inorganic compound. It reacts with nitric acid and water to form acid and NO. Similarly, dihydrogen sulfide reacts with nitric acid to form sulfur, water and NO. So these are forming NO. Similarly, iron sulfate reacts with nitric acid again to form NO. So you are seeing that inorganic compounds when reacting with nitric acid are forming NO, nitric oxide. Now let us study how concentrated nitric acid brings about oxidation and nitration of organic compounds. So it can bring about oxidation as well as nitration of the organic compounds. So first let's talk about oxidation. Now C6H10O5 n times. Okay, this is sawdust. Okay, you all must have seen sawdust. In villages they use sawdust for burning as a fuel. When this reacts with nitric acid, it forms carbon dioxide, water and nitrogen dioxide. And this reaction is such an exothermic reaction that it catches fire. And nitric acid, being a strong oxidizing agent, decomposes to give nascent oxygen, which oxidizes organic compounds. So it gives out nascent oxygen, which is responsible for oxidizing organic compounds to carbon dioxide and water. So this sawdust, turpentine and alcohol, all of them burst into flames when hot concentrated nitric acid is poured into it. Okay. Now let us see how it brings about nitration in organic compounds. Now nitric acid also brings about nitration of organic compounds in which one or more hydrogen atoms of organic compounds are replaced by a nitro group. So this was toluene. Okay. This is toluene, a benzene, okay, ring. Now this one is attached with CH3, then this is toluene. Now one of the hydrogen, now there are 2 hydrogens like this here. Okay, everywhere there are 2 hydrogens. This is C, everywhere, and there are 2 hydrogens. So if this hydrogen is replaced, one of the hydrogen goes off and a nitro group is attached. Then this is nitration. So this is nitration of toluene. The similar way benzene nitration also happens. Okay. So this was the structural formula of toluene, but this is the general formula C7H8. When this reacts with nitric acid, it forms this mixture of ortho and para nitrotoluene and water is formed. Okay. So this is ortho position, ortho This position is known as ortho, this position is known as meta, this is known as para. So at two position, ortho and this position, para, there is a possibility of adding nitrogen. So there is a mixture of orthonitrotoluene and para-nitrotoluene. But you need not learn this, just remember the formula here. So in your book only this is there, so just learn this formula, that in case of toluene or benzene, the replaceable hydrogen, here you can see there are 8. So now there are only 5. Okay. So 3 nitro groups have been attached. Okay. So just learn this one. Okay. Now the next is nitration of protein matter. Now we all know that our skin has proteins also. So whenever nitration of protein matter happens, it leads to the formation of xanthoprotic acid, which stains the skin yellow. What does it mean? That if nitric acid falls on our fingers, okay, it stains the skin yellow. So it becomes yellow in color. And if concentrated nitric acid falls on us, it is a very big hazard because it is very corrosive. So care should be taken while handling nitric acid. Now let us talk about the tests for nitric acid and nitrates. How can we test the presence of nitric acid or nitrate? So if you are given a test tube, okay, and you are told to find whether the nitric acid is there in the test tube or not. Okay, how can you test? First is action of heat. Okay, we know nitric acid is a strong acid and it decomposes to nitrogen dioxide, oxygen gas and water. When nitric acid solution is heated or exposed to sunlight, we already know about this reaction. Okay, so just when a test tube of some unknown liquid is given to you and you are told to test, just heat it. If the brown fumes are obtained of nitrogen dioxide, it means it was nitric acid. Okay, so here you can see we have heated nitric acid and it gives out dense dark brown fumes. Okay, now coming on to nitrates. So all the nitrates except for potassium nitrate, sodium nitrate or ammonium nitrate. So except for these 3 nitrates, all the metallic nitrates, when they are heated, it gives out metallic oxide or simply metal and NO2 and oxygen. So if any metal nitrate is there and you heat it, then also it will give you dark fumes of nitrogen dioxide gas. It means that the solution had nitrate, okay, any metal nitrate. Now if copper is dissolved in concentrated nitric acid, what happens? If you take a copper coin and you want to check whether it is copper or not, or maybe you want to check whether this is nitric acid or not, and you dip copper inside it, what will happen? It will form, see, can you see dense fumes coming out? Okay, so it will form NO2, nitrogen dioxide, copper nitrate and water. Okay, so the dense fumes of NO2 showed that the liquid was nitric acid. Now if you take copper and nitrate, instead of nitric acid, we are also studying nitrate. So if you take copper and nitrate and concentrated sulfuric acid, then the reaction will be similar. You will get brown fumes, but can you see the color of copper remains there? Okay, why? See. So now when copper reacts with 4 sodium nitrate and sulfuric acid, it will form sodium bisulfate, copper nitrate, water and NO2. So NO2 is there, which gives the brown fumes, and there is copper salt also. So copper salt is there, because of that it is blue in color. Okay. Now moving on to uses of nitric acid, we will go very fast here. First let us study about the industrial uses. So nitric acid is used in the manufacture of explosives, nitrates, dyes, drugs and perfumes and several synthetic fibers. So just take a screenshot of this. So there are different explosives which you need to learn. No need to learn the formula, just the names. Okay. There are different nitrates like potassium nitrate, which is used in gunpowder, ammonium nitrate, which is used in fertilizers, and silver nitrate we know was earlier used in photography. Okay. Now dyes, in manufacture of different dyes, drugs, in azo dyes, which is prepared from aniline, and in the manufacture of artificial silk, cellulose nitrate is used, and in case of production of nylon, nitric acid act as an oxidizing agent. So just remember few names, that which explosive, which nitrates, which drugs and which synthetic fibers. Okay. Now let us talk about the general uses of it. For etching designs on copper and brass ware. So various articles of copper and brass are there. Nitric acid we know act as a solvent for large number of metals, excluding the noble metals. They do not dissolve noble metals, okay, other than them mostly all the metals. So when they dissolve it, it forms these designs. So can you see these designs? How are these designs made? By dissolving, okay. Now in purification of gold, crude gold contains copper, silver, zinc, lead, etc. as impurities which dissolve in nitric acid, while gold is unaffected. Okay, so give it a wash with nitric acid, gold will remain unaffected and all the impurities will get dissolved. Now it is also used as a rocket fuel oxidant. For oxidation of the rocket fuel it is used. Then aqua regia, we already studied aqua regia, that concentrated nitric acid and HCl in the ratio of 1:3 dissolves noble metal also. So it is used for dissolving gold. Now in preparation of various nitrates, obviously nitric acid is used in preparation of different nitrates. So what are nitrates? They are normal salts of monobasic nitric acid. We know that HNO3, okay, is monobasic because it has only one replaceable hydrogen atom. So it is a monobasic nitric acid. So when this hydrogen is replaced by any metal like potassium, sodium, calcium, anything, okay, then it forms its nitrate KNO3. Okay, so for formation of nitrates it is used. Example, this KOH and nitric acid. So when this K, okay, that is potassium, replaces the hydrogen, it forms KNO3 and water. Okay, this is also a neutralization reaction because this is base OH, this is acid. So base and acid reacts to form salt and water. There are certain other reactions. You can see lead. So lead replaces hydrogen and forms lead nitrate. Okay. Then copper oxide displaces this hydrogen and form copper nitrate and water. So this way different nitrates are formed. Now different nitrates behave differently on thermal decomposition. What is thermal decomposition? Decomposition by providing heat. So whenever it is heated. So alkali metal nitrates. So what are alkali metals? Okay, if you remember the periodic table, on the extreme left we had alkali metals. So like sodium and potassium. Okay, so these alkali metal nitrates, when decomposed, it gives metal nitrite and oxygen. So it gives KNO2, metal NO2, potassium nitrite. Okay, now heavy metal nitrates. Okay, what do? They decompose to give metal oxide, oxygen and nitrogen dioxide. You should remember which heavy metal: calcium, zinc, lead, copper. All of them, what do they do on decomposition? They form metal oxide, oxygen and nitrogen dioxide. Now, so here are the examples. Lead nitrate forms lead oxide, oxygen and nitrogen dioxide. Copper nitrate, which is blue, forms the black copper oxide, oxygen and nitrogen dioxide. Now silver and mercuric nitrate, which are very low in the reactivity series, forms metal, oxygen and nitrogen dioxide. So it forms metal directly. Okay. Now so ammonium nitrate. Okay, now see what happens with ammonium nitrate. It forms on thermal decomposition nitrous oxide, which is also known as laughing gas, and steam, that is H2O. So here you can see ammonium nitrate on thermal decomposition giving you nitrous acid and water. So this was all about nitric acid. I hope you have understood the lecture very well. I have covered all the points of the chapter in detail, and whatever I have not covered is not in your portion. So please watch the video carefully for the first time, watch it for the second time and make notes. Okay, that is the proper way of learning and understanding the topic very well. If you have liked our video, please give it a thumbs up and write in the comment section, and also share the video with all of your friends and keep the learning on. Thank you.